It is Ravens and Bills week, previewing that and so much more on this episode of the Purple Rain Podcast. Yes, welcome back to episode 266 of the Purple Rain Podcast. Ben Grubbs episode, the Ryan Jensen episode, Benny Anderson, Gino Garkowski, and Ben Cleveland episode, the Cleveland Show episode of the Purple Rain Podcast. Thank you all for coming through this episode of the Purple Rain Podcast. As you can see, it's not just me and Sutton here today. We do have a special guest. Yes, below us, Ryan from the Flock Rundown. Appreciate you coming on this episode, this Bills preview episode of the Purple Rain Podcast.
Yes.
Let everybody know where they can find you at on Instagram, on Twitter, YouTube. Let them know where they can find you.
Yes.
Yeah, appreciate you guys having me on, man, for real. You just look up the Flock Rundown on Twitter, YouTube.
Yeah, the Flock Rundown, man.
Cool.
Putting out Ravens content and high quality Ravens content, might I add.
Thanks,
There's
man.
not a whole lot of guys doing that on, just the YouTube front in general. This guy's taking his time with it. So big shots out to him, and thank you so much for coming on again. We got a lot to get into on this episode. Before we do, though, of course, Alex, you wanna mention our friends over at Manscaped?
You might have to, yes. So, you can follow us on Instagram first and foremost at the Purple Rain Podcast. You can follow this guy right here on X, on Instagram at Sutton Def. You can follow me on X at Simply AS10 or on Instagram at Simply AS10.prod. And yes, like you said, Manscaped. Coming out with some wonderful, wonderful new, just the hair. I mean, you have the ball deodorant as well. You have everything. I actually just was taking a shower about 30 minutes ago. I used the little hair. What was it called again? It's not diffuser.
The scalp scrubber. The scalp scrubber, man.
Scrubber.
Yeah,
yes.
Man. Don't you forget it. That thing is elite.
I relaxed right now for the show. Yeah, it is elite. I just lost my train of thought how freaking good it is. But yeah, 20% off your whole Manscaped order using code PRP and free national shipping. It is the kicker. It's the best thing in the world. Thank you, Manscaped, for being a lovely sponsor of the show.
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, guys, we got a lot of football to talk tonight. We've got arguably the Ravens' biggest matchup to date. You could argue the Chiefs game in week 1, but this Bills game, it means a whole lot, especially considering the record that the Ravens currently hold at 1-2. This means a lot. So we've got a lot to get into. We want to go ahead and do that. Before we do, I want to see who's here in the live chat. Of course, we got Mod K-Dog giving the shout out to Manscaped. That's code PRP, 20% off plus free international shipping. Christmas is only 89 days away. So listen. It's almost the gift-giving season, y'all. Go ahead and get your brother, get your uncle, your father, your boyfriend, your husband. Get them something from manscaped.com and use our code PRP to save yourself some money. We also have RJ Horry in the house. Says, yes, sir, we live. Yes, sir, we are. Yes, sir, we are. What's going on, RJ? Appreciate you for coming through. Quoney in the house says, what's up, Rain Gang? What's going on, Quoney? We always appreciate you coming through. Huddle It Up Films. Our guy Jason says, good to see y'all. Hey, Ryan.
Jason.
Nice job with your channel.
What's up, Huddle Up? Thank you, man.
Shout out to Jason, man. That's our guy. We had Ravens Talk with Yolanda on last week. She was just on the show last week. Yeah, hey, Yolanda, thank you for coming through last week. Thank you for joining this episode of the show. She says, hello, Rain Gang. You guys make sure you guys go subscribe to their channels as well. Ravens Talk with Yolanda, and then also our guy Jason from Huddle It Up Films. Both really good content creators in the community. Let me see. We also have Lisa Ann in the house. Says, hey, Alex, Sutton Def, and Ryan. Watch out, Josh Allen. We are taking you down. Yeah. It's going to be a task. It's going to be a task taking down Josh Allen, like literally speaking. But we'll see how it goes. Okay. Let's not mince any more words. Let's get into some ball talk, right? Let's get into some ball talk.
Let's do it.
Right?
Let's do it.
It's time for the Purple Rain preview / report brought to you by none other than Manscaped. Again, it's time for some ball talk, fellas. Let's go ahead and start this off with the I word report as we normally would do. Alex, go ahead and take it away.
Yes, so we have a lot of big names, I'd say, on this Ravens Iowa report. So I'm just go through Thursday. They did not practices. That would be Andrew Voorhees and Jalen Armour Davis. Voorhees, a big name for us, obviously starting left guard. Got me a little worried, with it being the ankle injury. So if he cannot, at least be limited tomorrow, it's not looking good for Sunday. So, maybe a Ben Cleveland steps in at left guard, or we can throw Macari at left guard and then put Roger Rosengard at right tackle. But as for everybody else who was full, Daniel Falele, Patrick Macari, Michael Pierce, Josh Ross, Roquan Smith, Ardarius Washington. Then Tyler Linderbaum being limited, good sign for him to play on Sunday. And then going to the Bills, Josh Allen obviously playing. It's really going to be expected. Terrell Bernard limited, Kyrie Elam limited, Tylen Grable IR, so obviously he won't be playing. Defensive back Teron Johnson did not practice, who we know had that pick 6 against us in that 2020 playoff game. And then Mitch Trubisky obviously going to be playing, and then Quentin Morris will be playing with a full practice designation. So for the Ravens, for me, it's Andrew Voorhees, the big name out there. If we can't go with him, there will be some decisions to be made. And as this line already isn't the best, not really the most ideal spot for the Ravens to be in on this I-word report, unfortunately.
Yeah, and so the biggest thing to me that hops off the screen, and you mentioned it to lead it off with, Andrew Voorhees, a guy who's been solid at left guard, especially for kind of like the redshirt rookie that he is coming into the season. It's I didn't know much of his I word going throughout this week. I just kind of learned about it yesterday when I looked at the report. But this is concerning. I thought that he would at least be limited today. I didn't hear from the pressers. I'll let you guys, in the chat, let me know what Harbaugh and whoever else said anything about the guys who are banged up, if they gave any sort of silver linings to what we're seeing right here. Let me know if there's any extra context to that. But Ryan, I want to come to you on this one. When you look at this I word report, what do you really take away from it? What do you take away from this?
Yeah, it's the same thing, man. It's Voorhees, and honestly, I'm not really worried at all until tomorrow. I think tomorrow is going to, obviously Friday. If you have 3 DMPs, then you're not playing, especially for redshirt rookie, like you said. So tomorrow's I word report is the most important. But yeah, just analyzing this today, I mean, Voorhees is seriously questionable. So I would expect, like you mentioned, maybe McCary moves over. We start Roger at right tackle. Ben Cleveland's always an option. Josh Jones is always an option. We haven't seen a lot of Ben Cleveland or Josh Jones in like meaningful playing time in the preseason or anything against any of the other top starters. So it's a big unknown, but it's, in my opinion, like, Voorhees is a bit replaceable right now. I know he has a ton of upside, and I like some things that he's doing, but it's not like he's playing insane, consistent ball on the line right now. So I don't know how much fall off would be there, but regardless, I would like to see the same unit build some cohesion as the weeks go. And they looked better against Dallas last week, even though that defensive front is not the same, or at least they're not playing as well as the Bills defensive front. So I was really looking forward to seeing the same O-line outside of maybe a rotation at right tackle to see some more Roger. But I want to see that O-line just build week after week and get better, because it is a lot of young guys that don't have a lot of experience. So the upside's there. They're only going to get better as the year goes. So yeah, concerned a little bit, but not freaking out or anything. And definitely not extremely sure that he's even out. So it's just speculation at this point until we see tomorrow's I word report.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, definitely agree with what you got there. It is a tad bit concerning. We do have to wait until tomorrow, though, to really see what the real verdict is going to be for Sunday's designation. We do have a couple super chat donations we want to go ahead and bring up here. We have this one. This is a weekly one coming from D-Watt. Says Alan Eck is the referee on Sunday. Thank you so much, D-Watt, dropping the 2-piece in the chat, making it rain here on episode 266 of PRP. He's always telling us who the ref is for this upcoming matchup. That's gonna be interesting. I don't even know too much about Alan Eck, admittedly, but we'll see. It's another thing, we'll see. I had to say the same thing about Tolbert last week. I want to say there were a couple of missed calls in there, a couple of the main one that I took away was that what should have been a safety, right? And they took it away and they called it illegal touching, because I guess that trumps the fact that it was intentional grounding to begin with. I'm not going to get into it, but again, thank you, DOS, for your super chat donation. We do have another one. This one's coming from Mystic Max Offit himself, a Purple Rain pioneer himself. Says 2019 Pats game vibes. We're gonna smack these boys. Hey, that would, man.
It'd be
And I
nice.
remember that. And thank you again for your super chat donation, Max. But I remember that game like it was yesterday, man. I don't want to say it was like Lamar's coming out party because I believe that was after the Seahawks game in that year, in that season, which I think was Lamar's official coming out party, right? But that Pats game, it started off with like that Lamar touchdown, and from then that's when I kind of knew, like, okay, this is our guy. Like he's out here beating the Patriots, and at the time the Patriots were like
8-0
one
or
of them.
something.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were
Best
undefeated. I'm pretty
defense.
sure. So best defense, right? So yeah, I mean to feel vibes like that in this game, it wouldn't be quite the same because I don't feel the same fear that I would against a Tom Brady as I do against a Josh Allen, just for a bunch of different reasons. But this should be a damn good game. Should be a damn good game. What are you guys thinking?
Yeah. To me right now, I'll be honest, I think the Bills are the best team in the AFC. That might be a hot take, but watching them against the Jags, not the Jags, but the week before, what they did to the Dolphins without like when Tua was in, then when he went out. Week one, obviously they struggled a bit, but came and got the dub. I think they're the best team in the AFC. So if you can go and make a statement right now, beat them, and kind of give them a little wake up call, that would do wonders for the season, and then puts us to 2-2. But I'm just looking forward to seeing what this team will do at home, responding to a lot of the doubt I think that we're still even getting because the whole ending the Cowboys game, obviously we blew that lead. How are we going to respond to that? And yeah, so if we can go out there and smack these boys and beat, to me, the best team in the AFC, it puts you up for a really good season.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go ahead and move right along here to our matchup breakdown. As you guys know, we have on the Purple Rain preview segment here, we have the matchup breakdown between the Ravens and the Bills. I'm just going to run through it really quick. And here's what we're going to do here. We're going to give our keys to victory for the Ravens to walk out of M&T Bank Stadium on Sunday Night Football 2-2, right? What are our keys to victory being? So if you're listening to me right now, you're watching live, make sure you comment down below in the live chat what your key to victory is for this game on Sunday. If you're not watching this episode live and you happen to be a part of the hashtag replay gang, thank you so much for showing up to this episode after the fact. We still love you just the same. Make sure you leave your comments, questions, concerns down below because we do read them after the stream is over. Okay, so running through it here, passing yards a game, Ravens are throwing for 234 a game, which is ranked 11th. They're rushing for 203, which is second. They're allowing 292 through the air, which is dead last in the league, which is, I just want to kind of pause right there for a second because this is the second week in a row that we've seen this ranking here. Dead last in pass defense. And we all know why it came. There's a little bit of context to it, right? When you start to play some of that softer prevent defense, when you build a lead, you kind of let the defense kind of just take chunks and take chunks and take chunks, and that kills your stats, right? That kills it. So a little bit of context there, but that's going to be part of the keys to victory, for me at least. I'll get into that. But they're allowing 50 rushing yards on the ground, which the contrast between the rushing yards allowed and the passing yards allowed is just quite literally night and day. Like first to last is just absolutely insane to me. But yeah, they're first in that. Scoring about 23.7 a game, which is 11th, and allowing 26 a game, which is 24th. Going over to the Bills side, they are throwing for 212 a game, which is ranked 16th in the league. They're rushing for 120 a game, 14th in the league. They're passing for 100 they're allowing 168 yards passing, which is ranked 8th. They are allowing 118 rushing yards, which is ranked 16th. And they score 37 a game. Again, kind of a small sample size. We only got 3 games to go off of y'all, but like still, what they've been doing, I don't think Alex was lying. This is probably the best team in the NFL currently. Okay, which is why this is such a big game. And they're allowing 30.5 points per game, which I don't think, I think I got the numbers wrong on that one, but I don't think that's 7th in the league. But anyways, at any rate, when you're looking at most of these numbers, right? What do you deduce from this? What do you think the keys to victory? And Ryan, we're going to come to you first on this. We're going to just go down the list from there. Ryan, what is your biggest key to victory for the Ravens to walk out of M&T with a W on Sunday night?
Yeah, definitely a big game. Echo your points. I think the Bills are playing the best ball right now. I don't know if they are the best team on paper, but like they're definitely playing cohesively both sides of the ball. I think the Ravens offense in this game should be able to put up points. Just watching the Bills defense, it's to me middle of the road, and they haven't played anybody that is as confusing and difficult to deal with as the Ravens. I mean, You got Lamar running this way, Henry running that way. You got weapons downfield. I just really believe that the Bills defense is not going to be able to stop us. Now, what's that mean? Are we going to score 30 plus? I don't know. I think this gets put more on our defense containing Buffalo's offense to not be scoring 30 plus. Like, because I don't trust that our offense is going to be able to just guarantee score over 30. So it's really, to me, the main key is our defense slowing down Buffalo. And I think that they do that by getting physical in their face all 4 quarters. Because we did that early in the Cowboys game. We need that same formula because the Bills run a lot of misdirection. They run and they throw the ball super fast. So your pass rush gets neutralized a lot of the game because Josh Allen's getting rid of the ball in a second. And you got receivers coming this way, running backs kicking that way. He throws to the open guy within a second. So I think you need to get physical with these guys. You're going to have to be all up in the receiver's face just to throw that timing off. And we got the corners to do that. I mean, Nate Wiggins, Marlon Stevens, they can play man, they can play press. Like, I'm not worried about their ability to do it. And we've seen them execute. I know we're staring at 30-second pass defense here, but a lot of that is the fourth quarter. So I just think if we can play consistent ball for 4 quarters, that number is an outlier. That's not exactly where the Ravens secondary stands, in my opinion. So I really think getting physical with Buffalo is going to throw their timing off. Obviously, Josh Allen's going to do some miraculous stuff and avoid a couple close OA sacks or whatever and get downfield. You know, I know Allen's going to make plays. His ability to run is going to be an issue. I think us just throwing their pass game off and then stopping the run always, I think, is guaranteed thing that we have to do every week, you know, regardless of who it is. So slowing down their run game is crucial, but I really think the Ravens can get the edge in this game by being extremely physical with Buffalo and slowing that pass game down, or at least just throwing the timing off. We need to hold them under 30. I think our offense can put up 30 in this game. We're going to be able to run. The Bills haven't played anyone like us. I mean, I'm not trying to discredit what they've done at all. They're balling. But those 3 teams are not as physical as Baltimore, and it's not as multiple as our offense can be. So I think we should excel with some decent O-line play. You know, if our O-line takes a huge step back, then I'm going to change my tune a little bit. But if our offensive line can at least stay where they're at, improve a tiny bit maybe, and just keep executing, our offense is going to be able to move the ball. I'd be shocked if the Bills' defense is causing us a lot of problems.
Yeah, that was a really good key to victory. I hadn't really seen it like that up until this point. I mean, basically what you're saying, like, get physical with these guys because they're going to try to get cute against us.
But they're just super decisive. Like I watched the Jags game over, and like, I mean, it's hike and throw. You know what I mean? And like if you're not on these dudes and you're allowing this motion to create and allowing the separation, they're going to have wide open options. They're going to inch their way down the field, and then they get in a rhythm, and it all changes. The defense is thinking too much. If we can just play physical, stick to your guy, do your assignment, and be in their face, that then makes Allen not have that first read right away, and then he starts to kind of panic. He might take off, but I think he becomes a little bit more vulnerable when you take away what they're trying to do instantly, and then he's more vulnerable to throw interceptions and things like that. So it's really just about being in their face and not allowing them to easily kind of execute their short passing, quick game plan.
Yeah. No, I mean, I love that. Love that. Alex, what you got?
Man, number one, it's just discipline, I think. One thing that, just like with the penalties last week, I'm going to go into that, but I actually was rewatching the game. We played in 2022. And it was the final drive, and Brandon Stevens comes on a blitz, and he hits Josh Allen, and we get a roughing the passer call. Puts him in a field goal range. They obviously beat us on the last second field goal. I look at the Ravens the first 3 games and all the penalties, and I saw a chart. We are last in the league in penalties. Like, we're giving up over 100 yards a game in penalties. We're giving a whole football field worth of penalties in games. That's a whole 7-point swing, in my opinion. You give them a whole touchdown in penalties at this point. If we can be disciplined and cut out some of the very, very, very stupid penalties, it gives you a good chance to win. As for the game itself, like I said, playing the Bills, I watched them on Monday. I'm like, how do you beat this team? But one thing I realized that the Jags were not even, make any adjustments defensively. They're beating him on just like the screens, on the short passes. The Jags had no answer to that. I trust Zach Gore to make adjustments as the game's go on, but it's in the fourth quarter, and I see the secondary just giving up just plays. That's where my worry is. And then linebacker wise too, Roquan and Trenton Simpson, you have Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox coming in. That's kind of a little worried about that. I'm not gonna lie, because we have let tight ends cook us this year. Brock Bowers cooked us week 2, and then last week obviously Jake Ferguson put up over 90 yards. You got to cut that out, because if you let Kincaid have his way in tight ends, you don't really stand a chance. So I'm gonna say just discipline and just cutting the tight ends out of the game and holding them to just not big plays, but just holding them in general.
Yeah, I mean, I love that too. My biggest thing is going to be number one, playing 4 quarters of football. I mean, I think I love what both of you guys said. Excuse me. But I do believe that, we can be disciplined, right? We can be physical, but we can not do that for only one half. Like, we need to do it for both halves of the game. And that's something that we've struggled with not only this season, but throughout John Harbaugh's tenure, damn near for as long as I can remember, to be honest. And it's an issue, and I don't know when or how it's going to be addressed, but I would hate for that same issue to rear its ugly head in this game, especially if we build up a lead and in typical fashion, they start to march right down. I told you, Alex, there's nothing more annoying than watching a tired Ravens defense, right? Get up tempoed by an offense that's, completely abandoned the run and just slinging it all over the field. There's nothing your pass rush can do, right, at a certain point. And that's where I shift my key to victory to the offense. Now, last Thursday, I said on here that, the Ravens need to be a lot less predictable on first down. And I thought we were. We were a lot less predictable on first down in this, game against the Cowboys. I told you, first play of the game in the first half that we had and the first drive of the second half, they were both Lamar keeps. Normally, that's Derrick Henry right up the middle, and everybody in the stadium knows it's coming. So I'm glad that they listened on that. But here's the next step. In the third quarter, we have to be much more aggressive than we have been. There's no reason why we should be up 3 possessions and, our drives look like this. The next 3 drives, punt, missed field goal, punt. There's just no reason. If we're dominating offensively with all the creativity and everything that we were doing, we were flowing, we were clicking. The offense was humming. I said it myself. It felt like we found our identity again. But then we lost it. Right? And we excuse me, we tried to go and start playing more conservative, and that's just not going to work. And Lamar Jackson kind of criticized the team about that. He didn't really call anybody out, so to say, but he said, like, we need to, put the pedal to the metal in these important moments. And even if we're up, keep going, keep pushing. And Todd Monken actually said today, when somebody mentioned that to him in a presser, Todd Monken's response was in so many words. He said, I agree with Lamar where, we shouldn't have been so conservative. But, however, we did get aggressive at the very end of the game. Like the Lamar keep at the end of the game, that was an aggressive call. And I'm like, yes, Todd, yes, that is correct. That was a very aggressive call. Honestly, I wouldn't have been surprised if at the mesh point between Zay Flowers and Lamar Jackson, they fumbled, because that ball was extended way out there.
Yeah.
He pulled it at the last second. But no, the point is, it should have never gotten to that point. It should have never gotten there. We should not have punt, field goal, punt. And then next thing you know it, after one missed onside kick, they're right back in the game on our ass, 3 points. So those are going to be my biggest keys to victory. Again, number one, playing 4 quarters with what all you guys said, how we need to come out, how we need to show up. We need to show up that way, but for 4 quarters of football. And then the second thing is in the third quarter, in the second half specifically, right? Because I expect us to come out offense, maybe 1 or 2 touchdowns in the first half. That's what I'm expecting. But in the second half, I need us to really, really come with it. And Lamar Jackson, we need to keep riding Derrick Henry, but I need to see more out of this passing game too, specifically to the tight ends. That's kind of like an honorable mention for my keys to victory. Like, let's get these tight ends back a little bit more involved and control the game, the pacing a little bit more to our liking. So those are gonna be my keys to victory. You heard these fellas' keys to victory. I thought they were all fabulous tonight. Shout out to these guys. I want to go ahead and bring up some of you guys, what you guys are saying in the chat here. Let me see. Dre says, I think Henry is going to get a lot of run again this game. What do you guys think about that?
No, for sure.
He has to.
Oh, go ahead. Art.
He has to. He has to. I mean, he put up 150 last game. He put up. Well, I think he. I know he hit his over in the Raiders game, but going back to last week against Cowboys, that was Derrick Henry that we thought we signed. The stiff arming, even when he's going up the middle, if you know we're running running, you're not going to stop him. So yeah, he has to. You have to control the time possession and keep the Bills' offense off the field. Keep their best player, Josh Allen, off the field. So yeah, he has to get a lot of running this game.
Yeah, Ryan.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. No, I agree. I think Henry's usage was great. I don't think we're going to run 45 times and pass 15. This game's going to be a lot closer than that. I'd love to blow them out and just run the ball game. That'd be awesome. I just don't think it's going to go that way. I think that the Bills are definitely going to be able to put up some points. So that's going to keep the game close, which is naturally going to make us want to push the ball down the field a little bit more. You're not going to be super comfortable just running the entire game, but I think Derrick Henry getting 20, 25 carries sounds great to me. Lamar can run a little less. I think he had 14 last week, 16 in week 1. I mean, that's a lot of running for Lamar. And if it's there, it's there. Like, we got to win the game. I'd rather Lamar run another 15 times and be 2-2 than Lamar not run. But I'm just saying, ideally, I don't want Lamar running that much. But I think Henry's usage is great. I mean, 20, 25 carries. We definitely need to use them. And I think Henry's been the Henry that we saw last week all season long. The line just played a lot better, or they played against the weakest front that we've played.
Yeah, that's true. And we also were kind of hiding our offensive line deficiencies early in that game, kind of running away from, the right side, running more to the left, things like that, getting them out in space, which worked really well. And then you saw in the second half when they were kind of broken down just a little bit, that's when we were able to, go up the middle, and he was making big runs off of that. So, Derrick Henry, he's going to be that hammer that closes games if we can utilize him correctly. I think we're getting there. I don't think we're all the way there yet. I don't think we've fully found our identity with Derrick Henry, in this backfield. But I think we're getting there. I do want to bring up a comment here from Sal. Says Bills are going to outscore the Ravens. The Bills' pass rush is no joke. And speaking of the pass rush and other trench measures, it's time to go ahead and bring up our trench work slide here. You can see basically where all the teams in the league stack up in terms of trench play. So he says that the Bills' pass rush is no joke. And according to this chart, you can see that the Bills' pass rush is pretty up there. They're up and to the right, up there with the Myles Garrett-led Browns, the TJ Watt-led Steelers, guys like that. Good company. So with this kind of, I don't want to necessarily say patchwork offensive line, but if Voorhees can't go, right, and we have to shift some more guys around, and we're throwing out a new unit out there essentially, what are you guys feeling about how the Ravens offense should respond to a really good pass rush from the Bills?
Ryan, you can go.
Okay.
You go first.
Yeah, you go, Ryan.
Yeah. I think I'm confident, man. I'm not confident that they're not going to get some sacks. They're definitely going to make some plays. They're definitely going to beat Falele on one. I almost guarantee it. But I really think overall, I don't think their pass rush is going to blow up our entire game. But it's definitely something you need to focus on. I mean, they got a great D line overall. Von Miller's still capable of doing great things. They get a lot of interior pressure with Ed Oliver. I love their D line. I think that the Ravens, the way that they run offense, and I think they're going to have the Bills thinking quite a bit. And there's not just going to be a lot of, or at least, not a ton of traditional just drop back, Lamar super vulnerable. I think that they're going to really make the Bills think. I saw a lot of play action and misdirection plays from the Jags that just Lawrence made some terrible reads, but the Bills defense was stuck in mud thinking of where to go. And the Ravens do that times 10, they do that so much better than anybody. So I think we can neutralize that pass rush. They do have a great pass rush, but I think we can neutralize it by running and establishing a strong run game. And then also just keeping them on their toes, because they never know when Lamar's going to take off. And I think with quicker throws and a strong run game, we neutralize a lot of that. But it doesn't mean that I'm not concerned. I definitely think they're going to get to Lamar, 2 or 3 times, and we're going to see some really bad reps from the O-line.
Yeah. And piggybacking off that, having Greg Rousseau and AJ Epinesa, who I think are fantastic players. Like you said, they have a great D-line. And this is where I'm looking at Todd Monken and the Ravens. Like, you have Pat Ricard.
Yep.
If we're getting beat on the right side, line him up as a tight end and help him out with Falele. He can block. Like, he's making 5.5 mil. He's top 10 in cap hit this year. Like, use him. And that's one thing I don't think we've been using him as much. Like, I know we're using him at the goal line situations, but help us out blocking, because this O-line, obviously, it's patchwork. And I think we will have some Lamar tax plays where he's about to get sacked and he breaks out of it. And for any other quarterback, about 26 other quarterbacks in the league, he probably would have been sacked in that position, but because he can run and escape the pocket, he isn't sacked. So they'll get there. Like you said, 2 to 3 is a really good spot, I say, to put it for there. But I'm looking at quick throws as well. Tight ends, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely. I don't know, like, in betting purposes, I'm staying away from Ravens tight ends because you don't know what you're going to get with them. And I don't know who's going to have the game this year. Like last week, it was Kolar with the 1 catch, but I'm looking at maybe like a simple, 5-yard. There's just Andrew sitting there. Likely he can make somebody miss and run upfield, but I'm not too sure, So quick passes are really going to be a good way to win this game. Bateman, Flowers. But yeah, the line, man.
Flowers is getting 12 targets, 6 of them behind the line of scrimmage. Don't even worry about
Hopefully not that many.
Please
don't even worry about it. It's coming. It's coming.
Please no.
Yeah, I mean, no, I like those points, but I like those points. Like, I was thinking the same thing. Quick passes is probably going to be one of the bigger things. I think we're going to try to establish that run game early and like really kind of demoralize them with that. Lean on them with Derrick Henry. Don't be surprised if you see some Justice Hill in this one too. Just how good Justice Hill is as a change of pace back. Like, that does not get talked about by anybody outside of the Ravens community, hardly. And every time this guy touches the ball, I say 8 to 9 times out of 10 something good happens, and it's all predicated off of the fact that Derrick Henry is not in the game. And when Derrick Henry is not in the game, the defense completely shifts its attention to Lamar Jackson and some of those outside weapons, that sort of thing. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I think it's going to take a Todd Monken masterclass. That creativity that we saw in the first half against the Cowboys, we're going to have to carry that into this game against the Bills, but turn it up a notch, right? Because this pass rush is better than the Bills pass rush. And even more importantly, the Bills pass protection, if we're looking at that, they have one of the best offensive lines in the league. One of the best in the league right now. And like my guy Ryan said, they've been really focusing on getting the ball out. Of course, we know that they've been running the ball a lot more this season. And of course, we know that the Ravens don't really go for that type of shit in Baltimore. So, I think they'll shut down the run. Not easily, but I think they'll shut down the run, and it'll force Josh Allen to really kind of throw the ball maybe 40 to 45 times or something like that. So we'll see what happens there. But we do want to get into our score predictions for this game. I think it is about that time. We guess the score, the final score, who's going to win, who's not. Alex, I want to start with you, and then we'll go to Ryan. Then I'll go ahead and I'll go last. So, Alex, what is your score prediction for this game?
All right. As someone who was at the game last year, the Thursday game against the Bengals, the blackout, the darkness, I know how insane it's going to be. I wish I was going this week. And that actually played a huge part in my score prediction. I'm going Ravens 34, Bills 20. Like, you can sit here and act like this, like home field advantage and stuff like that. But this game last year, it was, I think they had 3, 4, 5 pre-snap penalties. It was the loudest game I've ever been to. And I think Derrick Henry in all black, the fans are going to be amped. I think, we're coming off our first win. Just make the Bills, just hit them hard. Yeah, give me the Ravens this one. All blacks at home, primetime. Yeah, I'm not thinking too much about that one. Ravens 34-20.
Okay. Ryan, you?
I love that, man. That would be amazing. I definitely to echo his point, I definitely think the home crowd is going to play a role. I'm going to go 31-27 Ravens. I think it's a little bit closer, only because I'm worried that they're going to score, man. Like, the Bills offense is difficult. You know what I mean? And our defense isn't playing cohesive enough for 4 quarters, at least from a communication standpoint. Hopefully they sure up the middle of the field issues too. I've been noticing, I didn't bring this up earlier, but I've been sitting here thinking about it. Roquan's like left. I don't know if you guys seen this, but he's just like left in the middle of the field.
Yeah, no man.
With way too much responsibility for his coverage ability. So we need to fix things like that, because they will easily get backs and, you know, quick wide receivers like Shakir and James Cook coming across and just throw to them fast. And like, I want to make sure that our defense is playing that tight physical ball and taking a lot of those things away. So that's why I think it's a lot closer. But I do think our offense gets out on them early. I think we look great. And then we're probably going to stall a little bit. Hopefully not the whole second half or in the fourth quarter. You know, hopefully we pick better times for us to fall flat a little bit. But I definitely think we come out hot. I wouldn't be shocked if this is like 14-7 quick. Just Ravens, you know what I mean? Like we get up, score or two, and I just think it's a little tighter as the whole game goes, just because I respect the Bills and what they're doing right now, but I do think the Ravens pull this one out at home.
Okay. For me, I'm going to go 27-24. And I'm actually going to go with the Bills in this one, guys. You know, I normally don't pick against the Ravens, but you know what, Alex? I think I remember, if I remember correctly, when we did our when the schedule first released in the offseason, when we first did our rundown for the schedule, I'm pretty sure I picked us to beat the Chiefs, but then lose to the Bills. And I'm still thinking we lose to the Bills. And you know, for a lot of the reasons that you guys had mentioned throughout this episode so far, they are probably the most put together team right now. Ryan, you said they're playing the best ball. I agree with that. You know, and I still feel like the Ravens are still trying to find themselves in a way. And I don't know if this is the spot to do it. Sunday Night Football, yes, we are at home, but I can see in that second half, you know, the defense getting a little bit worn out, right? And then Josh Allen is just doing what he does best. And we saw against Gardner Minshew walk up and down the field, get whatever he wanted at a certain point in that game. We saw Dak Prescott walk up and down the field, get whatever he wanted from us in that game. And we were up 3 scores, you know? So if we don't think that Josh Allen can do that exact same thing, then I don't know what we're thinking. But I think that the main reason we lose this game is because, again, at the end of the day, I don't think that the offense is where it needs to be currently. And in this spot with a really good pass rush and a patchwork offensive line, yeah, like we said, I think it's going to be a rough time. And I think that we make it close. We fight, because that's what a Lamar Jackson-led Ravens team does. We don't get blown out. We fight to the end. But I think that we come up just a little bit short in this one. And, you know, starting off 1-3 would suck. I hope you guys are right. I hope I'm wrong. I'm really hoping I'm wrong. But if I'm trying to be objective here, I think they just have more tools in the tool shed right now, you know, to kind of beat us than we do. And I don't mean that in like the literal sense, like on paper. Because like I said, Ryan said at you know, at the beginning of the show, they're probably not the best on paper, but they're playing the best ball right now, right? And I don't think that we're not playing with as much cohesion, again, to your point, Ryan, as we should be. So I'm going to take the Bills in this one, in a close one, a heartbreaker, to be honest. I want to see what you guys are saying. Cam the Baptist says 31-28 Ravens. I love that. That was close to Ryan's 31-27 prediction. Dre says Ravens 27-20. Alpha Rob says you're not putting 31 on the Bills. Defense, they never give up 30 points. All right, Rob. Okay.
Watch.
Okay, Rob. Must be a Bills fan. Must be a Bills fan in the house. He says 38-20 Bills. Ooh, by 18 though? No, we don't. Come on now. Come on.
Prime time in Baltimore. I cannot see that.
Now. We don't. You got to put some respect on our name, Alpha Rob. I mean, I'll give it to y'all. Y'all are playing some good ball right now, but like we don't get blown out like that. We do not get blown out like that. So, yeah, you know, I might switch my prediction because of what Alpha Rob.
Crazy.
I'm just kidding. Let me see. Antonio says 34-10 Bills. You see, brother, we killing everyone. Hey, respect to the Bills fans. Respect to the Bills.
Killing
fans.
us. Yeah, I didn't kill the Cardinals week 1, but hey, I'm saying.
Ooh, shots fired. Okay, all right. So now that we've done our score predictions, we've reviewed the Ravens game. It's actually time for some picks. We are a little bit ahead of schedule right now. Ryan, are you cool to stick around while we do picks or no?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Alex, are you good to go with that?
I mean, why not? You know what time it
Let's
is.
do it. Right. All right, let me see. So first, of course, I got to pull up. We got to be fully transparent, right? We got to show how we did
Oh
last
yeah,
week.
it was bad.
It was a bad week.
It was bad.
It was a bad
It
week.
was
And
bad.
it was a look at last week 3, not week 2. But half for me. I got half right. Simply got just under half. I think the one that we differed
were
on,
bad.
you picked the Bears over the Colts. I picked the Colts to win that game, and the Colts won. So it is what it is. But we have a whole new slate of games for week 4. So let's go ahead and let's get into it. Of course, I got to cue the music. Our guy Ryan, we got to introduce you to the pick music, man. It's time. I hope you're ready.
I'm ready. Let's go.
I hope you're ready. All right, let's get it. Alex, you ready?
I'm ready. I'm freaking ready.
All right, let's go. Let's go. Alex, take us away.
Starting off Thursday night football, the Cowboys who we just saw playing the New York Giants. Give me the Cowboys in this one. Daniel Jones, I think, hasn't won a game on Thursday night football, and it won't change tonight. Give me the Cowboys.
Ryan.
Oh, I'm picking? Oh, sick. All right. Yeah. I'm definitely picking the Cowboys tonight for sure.
Okay. Yeah, oh man. I want to shake shit up and be like, this is a Malik Neighbors legacy game. He's gonna have 2 scores. I love Malik Neighbors too. He looks like he could be a real problem in this league, like wide receiver 1 in the next couple of seasons, just with how he's playing. But I'm gonna go Cowboys in this one. I think they'll be pissed off again, but it is an NFC East opponent. They know them well. I think that they'll hold them down for the most part. Malik Neighbors might get a little bit of his, but let me go Cowboys in this one.
All right, moving on to our 1 o'clock games on Sunday. The 0-3 Bengals against the Andy Dalton-led Panthers. And one thing I haven't been doing is taking risks. I'm taking a risk here. Give me Andy Dalton to beat his old team and put the Panthers to 2-2 and put the Bengals to 0-4. The Bengals right now, they were putting up some scores against the Commanders, but I don't know what's going on with them. Give me the Panthers and just making the Bengals 0-4. That just would be hilarious.
Yeah.
You want
taking
me to
risk?
Go ahead, Ryan. Go ahead, Ryan.
All right,
go ahead.
I'll go second each time.
All
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would love nothing more than the Panthers to beat the Bengals and send them to 0-4, but I am picking the Bengals to get their first win just because, and it's not a disrespect to Dalton. I think he balled last week. He definitely is a upgrade for them over Bryce Young right now, but I think that the Bengals are going to get their first win, even though I hate their defense. I think it sucks. I just think that they're able to put up enough points in this one.
Yeah. I got to agree with my guy Ryan on this one. I'm going to go with the Bengals. I think they finally get their first one, get in the win column. It's just 0-3 is one thing, but 0-4 and losing to the Carolina Panthers, I think there's just a pride thing. There's a pride thing. They got to get that one. Give me the Bengals.
Same Panthers that beat the Raiders we lost to. It's a crazy world we live in.
That is crazy.
Next up,
yes.
NFC South matchup, the Saints and the Falcons, 1 o'clock. The Saints who lost last week against the Falcons who lost a little controversial one against the Chiefs last week. It is in Atlanta, so give me Kirko and the Falcons to beat the Saints in this one.
I'm also picking the Falcons. I think the Saints got out to a really hot start, but they got a little film on them now, and the Falcons are going to keep improving while I think the Saints get a little bit worse. So I'm gonna go with the Falcons.
Yeah, I do think the Falcons have sort of like a longevity factor to them, like with Kirk Cousins at quarterback. Derek Carr, I don't want to say like boom or bust, but I think it was only a matter of time until we saw like that offense and that team overall just kind of like regress. First 2 weeks they looked really good, but week 3 they came back down to earth versus the Eagles. Let me take Atlanta in this one. Give me the Falcons.
Next up, nice AFC South matchup. The Jags heading to Houston to play the Texans. Lost a surprising one against the Vikings last week, but I think the Texans bounce back and get a dub against the Jags in this game.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm with you there. I don't know what's going on with the Jags, man. I was watching that film against the Bills today, and they are abysmal in a lot of aspects of the game. So I'm definitely going with the Texans. I think the Texans are one of the strongest teams in the league. I know they didn't play well against the Vikings, but that Vikings defensive scheme's crazy right now. So I'm going with the Texans.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Texans too in this one. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, I think it's time to have that conversation about him.
And they just signed him.
Yeah, I know. That's the crazy thing. But it's just like, wow, to be a Jags fan right now, Crazy feeling. But yeah, let me go Texans.
All right, next up we have the Broncos and the Jets in New York. Give me the Jets in this one. They are looking pretty good with Aaron Rodgers, healthy Aaron Rodgers, and getting it done.
Yep, I agree too. I think the Jets are an ascending team as they just build more chemistry and stuff. And but shout out to the Broncos. They've been playing tight ball. I think that they're putting up a good fight. They don't have as many weapons. They're not going to be able to keep up.
Yeah, I have to agree. I wanted to be frisky here and say the Broncos pull out a close one, right? Who saw the Broncos beating the Bucks last week? Nobody.
And they shut them down.
Right.
Exactly. That came out of nowhere, complete left field. But I do tend to agree. I think that the Jets now, week 4, they've kind of got their feet wet with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. I think they're going to start to get to rolling just a little bit here, improving why, they were so highly touted, especially last year when Rodgers was first supposed to start for the Jets. But yeah, give me the Jets in this one. I'll take the Jets.
All right, next up, the Vikings and the Packers. The undefeated Vikings with Sam Darnold. Who would have saw this one coming? Not me. Against the Packers and who even last week with Malik Willis, put together. Jordan Love has a chance of playing this week. And I don't know where to stand here because I feel like I've been going against the Vikings, but the Packers with Josh Jacobs looks like a great signing. They've been playing some good ball. If Jordan Love plays, I'm going Packers. If Malik Willis plays, I'm still going Packers. Give me the Packers in this one. Vikings 3-1.
I'm with you, except the Malik Willis part. And shout out to him, too. He had a great game last week. But if Jordan Love plays, I am taking the Packers in this game. I love what the Packers got going on this year on both sides of the ball. I think they're going to be a serious threat. And the Vikings are, too. But I just think that the Packers can get them in this game. But if Jordan Love's out, then I'm definitely riding with Minnesota. So that's a little, I don't know. We'll just score it and when we get the eye report.
Yeah. I'm going to go Minnesota in this one, regardless who starts for Green Bay. Main reason being, I don't think that Green Bay is going to be able to establish the run against that Minnesota defense, that run defense. That run defense has been really, really good this year so far. And I think that if they're forcing, especially if it's a Malik Willis, to throw the ball all over the yard, I've said before, Matt LaFleur is a really good coach, but if those flaws start to get exposed a little bit, then yeah, I think that they go under. But even if Jordan Love plays, I don't think he's going to be 100%, right? Nobody comes back when they're 100%. You have to kind of come back a little bit earlier than that. So yeah, give me Minnesota in this one. I think that they keep rolling. I really like what I've seen from Sam Darnold.
Yeah, makes you think New York wasn't. Sam Darnold wasn't the problem. It was New York. Moving on, the Steelers and the Colts. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I had the Steelers going 4-0. Genuinely, this is why I wanted Russell Wilson to start. I think the Colts haven't looked as good as I thought they were going to be with Anthony Richardson, and the Steelers' defense has been looking back good. So, give me the Steelers in this one.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm taking the Steelers too. I just don't think that the Colts are efficient right now, and they're extremely inconsistent going against a pretty stout Steelers defense. That I think TJ Watt can blow that game up. To be honest with you, I don't like saying it, but I do agree. I think they go 4-0.
Yep, ditto on that one. It's just honestly with a young quarterback like Anthony Richardson and a physical team like Pittsburgh, who has experience against mobile quarterbacks, and Anthony Richardson is not polished at all, especially throwing the football. Yeah, give me the Steelers 10 times out of 10 on this one for sure.
Yeah. Next up, the Rams and the Bears. The Rams, who to me, I wasn't even watching that game because I was watching the Cowboys-Ravens game last week at 4:25 window. I saw they won against the Niners. I was like, what did I miss? Caught that. This Rams team, very, very well coached with Sean McVay. Matt Stafford, absolute pro. Give me the Rams to beat the Bears. Even with all the I words they have, they still have some ballers on that team. I like the Rams in this one.
Yep, I like the Rams too, to your point, mainly just because of coaching. I think that overall their team's kind of decimated right now. Their roster is missing a lot of key guys, but I think that team is together, and they are very well coached and prepared for games, and they're going against a rookie. I mean, Caleb Williams is going to keep getting better too. I'm not like on the bus team over here, but like I definitely think that the Bears have a lot of issues, especially on their offensive line. I think that the Rams pull this one out.
Is the game in Chicago or is it in LA?
Yeah, Chicago.
It's in Chicago. Give me the Bears. Give me the Bears in this one. I think that the Bears defense, of course, is the highlight of that team. I think that their pass rush can get after Matthew Stafford in this one. I mean, the Rams' pass protection has not been very good this season, on top of all the I-words that have been piling up at their skill positions as well. I think it's going to be a close one. Dare I say overtime? I think this one does go to overtime, and I think that the Bears, they pull it out on like a defensive stop or something like that. Very close, but give me the Bears.
All right, moving on to which could be the game of the week, hopefully. The Eagles and the Buccaneers. Eagles got out to a slow start last week, and the Bucs just looked absolutely horrible. Hoping both teams bounce back. It is in Tampa Bay, if you're wondering. Give me the Eagles in this one. I think Saquon keeps on with his amazing start, and Baker, a late turnover, gives the Eagles the game.
Wait, is A.J. Brown practicing?
Yeah, I was going to ask. I was like, there's so many up in the airs with the Eagles. What is that? Where are we at with that?
Oh, yeah. Is Smith practicing?
He's in concussion protocol. I think Brown's missing practice still. I have him in my dynasty.
All right, never mind. Bucks. Give me the Bucks. I'm sorry. Give me the Bucks. They have no. Johan Dawson, receiver one. Yeah, give me the Bucks.
I also am going with the Bucks just because of that, though. I honestly would pick the Eagles, but not having Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown makes them one-dimensional, and I just feel like they're not going to be able to put up enough points. We saw them last week; they didn't score a lot of points, even with Devontae Smith out there. So, I don't trust that Hurts can kind of like have a Lamar game where he just like takes over completely by himself. So I think the Bucs rebound a little bit at home and get more points on the board.
Yeah, for me, I think I'm gonna have to go with the Bucs at home in this one too. Again, if there's no A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith is questionable. I like Jalen Hurts when he tries to put on the superhero cape, kind of turn into Lamar Jackson a little bit, use his legs. But I think that there's a ceiling to that. There's a very clear ceiling to that to me. And if he doesn't have those weapons, A.J. Brown just makes this team, man. I will say it again. I've said it before. A.J. Brown to me is the best receiver in this league. Like, I think he's the most physically imposing. I think he is one of the most, I'd say top two most dangerous, maybe just behind like a Tyreek Hill. But just because of his versatility, if you need him to take a slant route to the house, he can outrun everybody. If you need him to catch a screen and then make one guy miss or run through one guy to get the first down, he can do that. If you need him on a big third down, fourth down to be a possession receiver, he can be that as well. I think he just checks all the boxes, to be honest with you, and he's my favorite, to be honest. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bucs in this one, especially if my guy A.J. Brown is not playing.
All right, moving on now to our 4 o'clock window. The Patriots head to San Francisco to play the 49ers. I like the Niners in this game with a good bounce back win against the Patriots.
Yep, I agree. I think that they could bounce back in a big way, to be honest with you. I don't know if that one's even close.
Yeah, give me the Niners.
Next up, the Commanders and the Cardinals. Jaden Daniels having a great showing on Monday Night Football. LSU TV, just don't want to tap my back too much. Against Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. This is going to be a good game, I think. The Cardinals had a tough L last week, I believe, and give me the Commanders. Left hand up. Who are we, the Commanders? Give me Commanders.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. I think this could be a highlight reel, man. This game should be entertaining. Yeah, I'm gonna ride the momentum of the Commanders after that Monday night performance. They earned a lot of respect, and I'm going with the Commanders. But I could see that going either way. I think that's a close, entertaining game.
And you said it's in Arizona, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Arizona in this one. The biggest caveat with the Commanders right now is their defense, man. Their defense does not look good. I think that Kyler Murray can definitely take advantage of what they got going on there. I mean, their corners, they are very liable to get burned. We've seen that. I think this is a big game for Marvin Harrison. I think he's questionable on the I-word report, but I'm pretty sure he's going to play. But I think it's going to be a big game for him. And then also, you got Cliff Kingsbury coming back and facing his old team. And I think that they'll have a couple of things in mind to be able to kind of stymie his offense. But we'll see. But I'm going to go with the Cardinals in this one.
All right, next up, the Chiefs and the Chargers. I'm not going to think twice about this, the Chiefs.
Yep, I'm there too. I mean, Herbert's out, or do we? I don't even know. Is he good? I have no idea, but he's hurt regardless. So, yeah, I think the Chiefs pull that one out. Unfortunately, I'm waiting for them to get an L and play against a worthy opponent, kind of like Pittsburgh.
No Derwin James. Well,
yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah, suspended.
Sutton, who you got?
I'm sorry, I had a brain fart. Who are we talking about again? I'm sorry.
Chiefs Chargers.
Chiefs Chargers, right? Chiefs. I'm sorry, I was pulling up FanDuel so we can run through a parlay real quick.
Yeah, you're good.
But yeah.
All right, the final 4:00 window game, the Browns and the Raiders. Myles Garrett is dealing with like 3 different I words. With that being said, Myles Garrett like 2 forced fumbles at this point. He just plays better hurt. The Raiders, a horrible loss last week. That was inexcusable after a good win against the Ravens, of course. But I think this is a game where Minshew comes out the game. We see Aiden O'Connell. Give me the Browns in this one.
Yep, I'm also taking the Browns. And to your point, embarrassing loss for the Raiders, and then that makes it even more embarrassing for the Ravens. They're out here talking about benching Gardner Minshew potentially, and he lit us up. But anyways, yeah, I'm taking the Browns in this one.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with the Browns. I just think the defense is going to be a little bit too much for Minshew and the crew. So yeah, give me the Browns.
All right, moving on to the Monday night games. We got 2 of them. We got the Titans and the Dolphins, and the Seahawks and the Lions. Let's go to the Titans and the Dolphins.
Double headers, man.
I don't like it.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah. They used to have them like week 1 years ago where like it'd be like a 7 o'clock and a 10 o'clock. So the 10 o'clock was like a West Coast team. I don't get it. Because like 2 games on at once, it's weird.
Yeah.
Titans against the Dolphins. We might see Tyler Huntley at quarterback, which would be cool.
Yeah.
This is a very hard game to pick because the Titans haven't looked good. And the Dolphins were looking all right with Tua. But now with Skylar Thompson, Tim Boyle, Tyler Huntley, who do you pick? I'm going to go with the Dolphins if it's Huntley, because I think he can get Tyreek Hill the ball more than the other quarterbacks can, and I trust Tyreek. So give me the Dolphins in this one.
Yeah, I think Huntley is starting. I'm going to take the Titans. I just think that the Dolphins are kind of a mess, and I don't think that Huntley knows that offense that fast and like can execute it at a high level. And he doesn't have the strongest arm in the world. So can he get it to Tyreek? Yeah, but like I don't trust that Huntley's going to be able to make enough plays. Not that I love the Titans either, but I'm going to pick them in this one just to be different.
True. I'm definitely going to go with the Dolphins in this one. I think that they'll get their run game established. I mean, Titans' run defense is below average from what I know. So I think that they'll be able to – it's going to be a low-scoring game to me. That's what I think. But give me the Dolphins. You might get a big Tyreek touchdown, like you said. He might break one open. But for the most part, I'm going to go with the low-scoring game. And I think that they just kind of control it time of possession-wise. It's a little bit better. So, yeah, give me the Dolphins.
All right, in the final game of the week, the Seahawks and the Lions. Who am I to go against the Lions at Ford Field? Give me Detroit in this one.
Yeah, this is a tough one. The Seahawks are playing great. Shout out Mike McDonald. I am going to go with the Lions at home, though. I am going with the Lions at home, mainly because they're home. But I think this is a banger of a game, to be honest with you.
It is. Now, if this game was in Seattle, I would tell you just hands down, give me Seahawks. For sure. But it's not in Seattle. It's in Detroit. Those fans are crazy, too. They can get loud in the Motor City. I'm still going to I'm going to go with Seattle in this one. I think it's going to be another close one. Maybe another one of those defensive struggles, even though the Lions' offense is better than the Seahawks' offense. But I think that, give me Mike McDonald's coming out party. This is going to be where he puts the league on notice that, like, hey, I have arrived. I am 4-0, and, like, I'm going to, take storm, over the AFC. So give me Seattle in this one. Like Ryan said, kind of just to be different, but give me Seattle.
Okay, cool. And there are your week 4 picks. So
yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. Week 4 picks for the NFL 2024 season. If you want to put them together, I don't know, because we were awful last week, and I tried to take some upsets here, but NFL is just a week by week league. So you don't know who's
so unpredictable. It's impossible.
You don't know. Like all the upsets have already been crazy. So yeah. So hope you enjoyed that. And let's move on to our final segment of the show. Why don't we? The Purple Rain Parlays.
Yes. So the final segment of the show, before we let Ryan go, we got a Purple Rain Parlay we got to put together, boys. So we got to put together a 3-leg parlay from the Ravens versus Bills game that we think has the highest chance to hit. Okay? So just kind of pulling up the ye old FanDuel right now. Normally, Alex and I, we like to look at some receiver props. You know, that's kind of a juicy one. We look at some of these lines here, a little bit interesting, right? So I'm looking at Derrick Henry over 7.5 receiving yards for plus 100.
It only takes the one screen. We did it last week.
Exactly. That's one screen.
It is a low odds thing to happen for the Ravens, but it's an easy thing to think about for sure. Was last week the first screen we ran to Derrick Henry this year? I feel like it was.
Well, no, I think we ran one in week 1 as well, but I think it got batted. So he was targeted, but yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay, yeah. So 1 catch and 1 target. So only two Derrick Henry screens this season.
Right.
It's not terrible. I mean, he definitely could get 7.5 receiving yards. I don't mind it. I just don't think you're gonna have a lot of opportunities at it.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Alex, what do you think?
Yeah, I'd rather just stick to the rushing yards at that point. But then he had the dump off against the Raiders. He took for a little bit.
Yeah. His rushing line is at 68.5. I think it's the same as last week.
Now I'm thinking. Don't hate it. Don't hate it.
What, the receiving yards? The over 7.5?
Yeah, no, because he had a dump. So he said it the past 2 games. If we're looking at it that way.
Yeah.
Why couldn't it be 3?
I can see it with the misdirection, with the quick passes, with how we're going to have to get him out in space. I think that Todd Monken he'll probably draw something up. He'll get at least 1 or 2 looks. Like my guy Ryan said, there's not going to be a whole lot of opportunities. But I think when we do run those type of plays, we'll catch them a little bit off guard, and he'll be able to take advantage of that. Hopefully he can make one guy miss, and that's really all we need, right? So, yeah, I'm gonna leave that on there. I'm gonna leave that on the slip for now. But what else are you seeing? What else are you seeing?
Okay. Josh Allen over on passing yards. It's 232.5.
Yeah. That's kind of free.
I mean, I hate to say it. Yeah. I hate to say he had that in like the first half last week. I bet.
Yeah, and I don't think they're gonna have a ton of success running. So I mean, their backs are involved. It's like from a fantasy perspective, their backs are fine. But I'm just saying, like just traditional rushes, I don't think that's gonna go that well for them. So Allen's gonna have to throw, which would naturally probably lead to higher yards than that. Yeah,
that is a good point, man. I mean, I normally don't like to bet on the opposing team's players. But that over 232.5 passing yards for Josh Allen, that's kind of free. That's kind of free right there, honestly.
Yeah, feels that way, and then we'll completely shut him down and have the greatest.
Oh, I mean, I'm about to say, if that happens, I'd be happy.
No, I know.
It's kind of like a win-win.
Yeah, no, I think that's a safe pick. I was just kidding.
Yeah. Okay, so I like that. There's something new. We haven't really done that before, but that is like a really good line. You can't really pass that up. Let's look at the receptions. Player total receptions, right? So, do we think Zay Flowers is getting over or under 4.5 catches?
Over.
Definitely the over. The quick passes, we talked about it, right? He's going to get at least 10 targets, I would say.
Yeah, he's just too involved. And even last week, he had 2 catches and like 4 targets, and we barely threw at all. We're going to throw probably double what we threw last week, or at least a lot more. So I definitely think Zay's involved quite a bit.
This is an easy parlay we're setting up here, boys. I mean, we only do 3 legs. I mean, we can always keep looking and maybe take off the hold on, let me see. Rashad Bateman over 2.5 catches at plus money, plus 104.
That's tough. I don't know.
Okay. I think his line's at 24.5 yards.
Like the yardage I like. I do like the yards. Because he's like a little over that each week, and he hasn't even ever been that crazily involved. I think I like the yardage. The catches scares me just because that volume is not there at all.
That's why there's a price difference. So
Yeah,
the yardage over
that's true.
24.5 is minus 114. And
Oh, what is the other one? My bad. I missed plus what?
over 2.5 catches is plus 104. So you get more bang for your buck on that one. And, you know, deservedly so for the reasons we just said. Vegas is not dumb. They're not dumb.
No, they know. Yeah. I feel better about the yardage, but I mean, if you want to gamble it. We're gambling anyway, right?
Facts, for sure. You know, but I trust you on that one. I think that's true because, like, he could easily have 2 catches for, like, 44 yards. Right?
Yeah.
And that would piss me off if I picked the over on his reception. So, yeah, I'll go with the yards on that one. That puts us at 4 right there, boys. And we haven't even really dug deep into this. It feels like we haven't had to. Now, yeah, I think we're good. I think we're good. That's 4 picks right there. I mean, you can give or take one if you want to, but we have Derrick Henry over 7.5 receiving yards. We've got Josh Allen over 232 passing yards. We've got Zay Flowers over 4.5 receptions. And we got Rashad Bateman over 24.5 receiving yards. All hittable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very hittable.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, plus 1021 on that as well. So you heard it here first. That is the Purple Rain Parlay featuring our guy Ryan here. Big shout out to the Flock Rundowns, Ryan. You've been hanging out with us for an hour and some change now, and we appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
We were only supposed to have you on for the Ravens part, but you stuck around for the picks. You stuck around for the parlays. So
yeah, man.
you're really part of the Rain Gang family now, man. So we appreciate you coming on.
No, I appreciate you guys having me, man. Shout out to you guys. I've been tuning in a little bit too. I need to watch it a little bit more. Now that I'm on here, I got a better idea of the whole show. But yeah, no, man, it's sick. It was a fun time.
Hell yeah, man. Season is in full swing. Full swing. So I'll go ahead and I'll turn off the music now. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap this episode of the Purple Rain Podcast, episode 266. Again, thank you guys so much for coming through. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new here. And don't forget, you can go on manscaped.com and use our code PRP to save yourself 20% off your order, plus free international shipping. So all of our UK fans, Canada, everywhere, anywhere you live, you get that free shipping on us. So that being said, again, you can follow us on Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast. You can follow me on X or Instagram at Sutton Def. You can follow this guy up here in the top right at Simply AS10 on X, but on Instagram at simplyas10.prod. And pretty much anywhere, Simply AS10. And like our guy Ryan said to lead the show, you can find him on YouTube at the Flock Rundown. Just type it in just how you see it right there on the screen. The Flock Rundown. It's going to pop up. This guy is official, man. Big shout out to him. He's really coming up in the Ravens community, so we had to get him on. So again, Ryan, thank you so much for coming through.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah. And with that being said, I'm going to let my guy Alex take us out.
Thank you for coming through to this episode 266 of the Purple Rain Podcast. As always, stay positive, test negative.
Yes. And never, ever, ever forget, even on the rainiest of days, to call God. It's been episode 266 of the Purple Rain Podcast. We're going to catch you guys in the next one. Peace.